All right, welcome everybody to Deep Dive, presented by ThreatGEN. Deep Dive's a 30-minute weekly cybersecurity live stream show. I'm Gerald Auger, joined by Clint Bodungen, and we're bringing senior industry expertise to provide a deeper analysis and understanding of one specific cybersecurity current event. We encourage you to ask questions or lend your opinion as we take this deep dive together. If you're interested in this type of content, hit like and subscribe to show your support and be made aware when new content drops weekly. Now let's get into this week's topic. How you doing, Clint?
Excellent. This is kind of exciting. Our brand new thing here. Deep topics, deep subject, deep thoughts.
Absolutely. I'm going to bring Chad in with it as we dig in here. So, the topic that Clint and I wanted to take a look at this week, if you've been listening to Simply Cyber's First Things First, you may recall this story from Tuesday or Wednesday. Essentially, thieves were able to steal $1 million of NFTs from the Bored Ape Yacht Clubs via an Instagram hack. Now, while this was a Instagram quote unquote hack, it did have some technical components to it. It also had some social engine components to it. So what I'd like to do first is kind of just lay out the attack in its general, and then come back, Clinton, and get your thoughts on the different ways of attacking each phase of this particular attack. So the way that this particular attack worked, the NFTs within the Bored Ape Yacht Club are these digital assets, and they're all worth hundreds of thousands of dollars for no reason other than the exclusivity and the desire of holding these Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs. They do give you access to some exclusive websites and stuff like that, but it's not an asset in the way that you can eat it, drive it, or do anything like that, live under it. So it's become very Hollywood exclusive to own these things. So obviously you've got a very desirable asset or target right now, right? Like a crown jewel, if you will. Earlier this week, the Bored Ape Yacht Club's Instagram account, the official one, announced, right, and you can see right here, this is their official account. They announced that right now, for a limited number of users, they were going to be doing a limited time airdrop. Now, what an airdrop is where if you get in early enough, they will push an NFT to you at no charge. Now, this is something really interesting to point out, and we'll go into more detail on this later. But the way that NFTs and blockchain work, it's all public ledger, right? So my NFT wallet, while the contents of it are mine and I control it, the wallet itself can be viewed on the blockchain. And you can definitely see the wallet, maybe not the contents of it, but nothing stops someone from pushing something into your wallet. And if you allow them, taking something out of your wallet. Now, really interesting, some new NFT projects will actually find out like who Andy Samberg or Colin Farrell or Paris Hilton, right? Find out what their wallet is and just push an NFT into it, because nothing can stop that. You cannot prevent someone from pushing into your wallet. And then the idea is that Paris Hilton will look at it and go, oh, this is cool, and then tweet about it. And all of a sudden you've got this viral project on your hands. So they said, hey, we've got this airdrop, connect your wallet with ours, and we'll push it into yours. Well, some people who didn't know any better, again, a lot of people who own these things don't know anything about crypto, NFT, or security. They said, sure, I'll hop in there. So they hop in, and instead of pushing, they agreed to have something pulled out of their wallet. And basically, 4 or 5 victims had their wallets just yanked out, including these Bored Ape Yachts. So it was an Instagram technical hack, which had multi-factor and other security controls implemented on the account. And it was a social engineering attack to convince people that it was safe to basically bind the transfer of assets in their wallet to this actor. Also, the final point of this is that the threat actors actually took the time and effort to create a lookalike website. Whoa, geez. My audio just clipped out. To create a lookalike website in order to make the ruse totally sellable as to, yes, the directions coming from this site about binding your wallet are legit. Let's do it. And that is the attack. And someone somewhere is about $1 million richer because of it. So that is the attack. Clint, what are your initial thoughts as we dive deep into this particular attack?
So, and without getting into what we feel about NFTs, of course. So, you know, the attack vectors, when using social engineering, using replica pages, clickbait with either malicious scripts, cross-site scripts. Um, there's a different bunch of different techniques, but I think what's fascinating to me is, first of all, I would like to hope that the account holders were using MFA, multi-factor authentication, because if they weren't, then that's just easy. I mean, and without using the MFA, then you're susceptible to cross-site scripting, clickbait, these social engineering scams. So let's talk about the fact that, okay, they were using multi-factor authentication, because I think that's the important thing here. That's the interesting thing, because a lot of people think that MFA, multi-factor authentication, I'm just going to say MFA instead of keep saying both, because I feel like I'm repeating myself. But using MFA, a lot of people think that that's a silver bullet, that you can't get past MFA, and there are several techniques to bypass MFA. And they, in this particular, I haven't been able to find the exact details of exactly how they got in on all these attacks, but I'm assuming that they were using techniques that basically kind of, it's a combination of using like you said, a fake website that's a replica, or a chat link, or Instagram link that makes them that basically it's trusted. But let's go backwards a little bit about kind of the history of multi-factor bypass. So originally, in the early days of MFA exploitation, there was they were originally based, a lot of them were based off of OAuth, kind of like an OAuth man in the middle. And what OAuth is, and we're going to get into the technical details, but OAuth is basic. It's in the single sign-on family. What it does is you have two apps or two different services that agree to trust each other. And using OAuth, when you enter your password into one service, then that service will take that token and pass that token to the trusted service, instead of having to share your password multiple times, thus exposing your password multiple times and increasing your risk profile there for having your password stolen. And so certain attackers would play sort of this, they would masquerade as a trusted service. There are certain different types of, in the man in the middle family of attacks, to be able to steal your, basically just relay that token and get in, acting as a trusted service. Most of those have been patched. So what techniques they're using now for MFA bypass is, it's almost like a race condition attack, to where they'll send you a message on Instagram. And it sounds like this is kind of how this was perpetrated. So they'll send you a message on Instagram saying, hey, here's an opportunity, or hey, there's a problem with your account, or something like that. And they'll get you to click on a link, which forwards that link to kind of like a reset to the original service, that sends back the authentication code. And we've all seen this, right? To where you get the authentication code, you enter it in on your phone, and they'll trick the person into entering that code into the fake app or whatever. So basically, they're kind of masquerading. It's a social engineering technique, to where they're sending you a message masquerading as the service that has the multi-factor authentication, tricking you to click on it. Then they'll click on the link on your behalf, or they'll forward it. There's not a lot of automation yet in this. Then you get the code, and then you're handing the code to them, which then they use to get into your account. So that's kind of, it's like this social engineering middle man in the middle, combined kind of exploit is how they're doing this. I'll pause there for comments from you, or questions and crowd comments.
There are a couple different options here. So I quickly looked at Instagram's MFA options, and you can get SMS messaging, or you can do a 6-digit PIN using like the Google Authenticator app or Authy or one of these options, which, by the way, like, do the 6-digit PIN if you have the choice. They didn't go into the details, obviously, with this one yet. Instagram, Facebook got the account back into the person's correct hands, but could have been a SIM swap, right? This is another attack technique that we've seen. This threat actor made $1 million, or I should say, they haven't converted it to cash yet. They own $1 million worth of digital assets. You know, if they got the username and password, it's possible that they did a SIM swap at T-Mobile or something like that in order to get the text message. My thoughts are that that is possible, however, unlikely in this situation, because you would have to know which mobile phone had the Instagram official Bored Ape Yacht Club account, you know, what service, then also get the SIM swap and all that. So that, and it would have to be configured with that form of MFA. So there's a lot of dependencies for that attack to work that way. Another interesting MFA attack on Instagram, this actually did pay out a bug bounty a couple years ago. Because Instagram is so popular a platform, it's not like Facebook, where like it's your Instagram account, Clint, and like it only makes sense for you to be on it and access it. With Instagram and Facebook Business, but Instagram, they have set it up so, because they expect a lot of accounts to have multiple people running it, social media coordinators, business managers, you know, multiple members of a band, right? ThreatGEN as a company, maybe me and Clint both can post to the Instagram account. So in order to pair a new account with that, or to pair a new user with that account, there's a mechanism for doing that. And that possibly could have been another attack vector. So it's not so much that MFA was compromised, it was that the mechanism of putting another person with authority to execute on that account may have been compromised. And I know that's a little bit of a dark horse of an option, but it is a way to circumvent MFA, because you're not even going to get challenged for MFA. You're going to be challenged if you're authorized to access that particular account.
Yeah, and I think that that's when you, whether you're talking about that or the OAuth stuff, you're getting into trust relationships, right? You're getting into a trust exploitation, and I'm going to disagree with you a little bit on your previous comment about the preferred method of MFA.
Oh, the 6-digit PIN.
Authentication. Yeah. So because there are social engineering techniques that can steal to steal the PIN, using third-party auth apps like the Google Authenticator or the Google Verification, and I think there's a couple others. Those are actually more recommended. Where I actually have to have my phone and I actually have to click yes, this is me, is a preferred method of multi-factor authentication, because there's one by Symantec as well. But anyway, where you actually have to click on it and say yes, this is me, is actually preferred over the entering your PIN, because the PIN numbers are easy to social engineer away.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I'd also say it's a better user experience too. It's not too often in our industry, Clint, that we get to make the user's life better and have the process more secure as well. Black Knight actually asks here, isn't SIM swapping extremely hard? I wouldn't say it's extremely hard, Black Knight. I would say it's not as common, but you basically have to either run and like steal the AT&T store manager's iPad that's got the appropriate permissions, or just straight up give someone like $10,000 and be like, this is what I'm doing. Do you want $10,000 or not? Which is a great motivator. But again, you'd have to know what the phone number is of the person you're SIM swapping, that they do have. You'd have to have their username and password also to get the text message to be sent. So I wouldn't say it's extremely hard. I just don't think it's as common because of the dependencies that are needed for it to be pulled off.
It's definitely a multi-technique, right? I mean, it's you're utilizing several different techniques at once, and I would say that the SIM cloning is easier than straight up swapping. We used to mess with these techniques when we were doing red teaming. We used to play with them, and they were hard to pull off. You could also technically I can't talk today. I need my tea with my shout out to S4 where I just came back from last week. But using a rogue cell tower or repeater is actually now the new hotness, as opposed to messing with SIM cards.
Oh, I forgot about those stingrays. How can a stingray be used
Mm-hmm.
in I know it's a man in the middle, but how can it be used to perpetrate MFA fraud?
Just to, if you can use it to capture the multi-factor token or PIN number being passed back and forth to the cell phone to the victim.
Oh, because you're sniffing in traffic. I see. Yes,
Yeah,
and set
yeah.
flow. Set flow. You're totally 100% right. I got that whole smash and grab information from Darknet Diaries. I listened to it just a few weeks ago, so I was unaware of that attack technique. But yes, that is true. So I do want to spend a few minutes talking about just kind of the rampant fraud and social engineering going on in the NFT space. And if we can pivot off this if you want, but I want people to know. So a lot of these projects, these NFT projects, no matter what it is that they're doing, they will have a Discord server. That's part of the blueprint on what's going on. And soon as you join a server, like if you want to do like a little experiment, find some NFT project that hasn't minted yet, meaning that they haven't revealed the actual contents of each of the NFTs, and join the Discord server. You'll be in there. There'll be like a lot of hotness, a lot of activity going on, and then you'll just start getting DM'd from like random people, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm the official project organizer. Like, you were it's so stupid. You were the 700th person to join the Discord. You're gonna get airdropped a free thing. Click here." And it's like basically just a bear trap, and like they're asking you to stick your foot in it, and it just turns into rampant fraud. And it's really gross how much fraud is going on in the NFT space. It's really staggering, and it's all lightweight scammy social engineering. I don't even know if you'd call it social engineering, Clint. Like they're pretending to be someone they're not, so you'll do something that they want you to do.
Yeah, it's literally old school email. I mean, it's as akin to the original, like, click on this PDF, click on this HTML, dirty old school. But you know what's interesting to me, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I got to
Yep.
mention it. Like, even worse than NFT tokens, or minting just tokens and pictures and artwork. What I can't believe is people are actually buying land in the metaverse now. Like, we use
Hmm.
NFT that is minting land in the metaverse. This is nuts. It's like the metaverse hasn't even been created yet, and people are already buying NFT locked or minted land in the metaverse. This is just, in my opinion, straight up stupid.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
betting on
It's
a long shot, right? I mean,
well,
it's like seeing the
it's
gimpy
all
horse
completely.
that's laying down and starving to death, and his bones are showing, and he hasn't even got at the starting gate of the race yet. And that's the horse you're betting on.
Yeah, it's so true. Um, so yeah, Black Knight's bringing up the point about the rogue access point, capturing a lot of data, not just your target victim. So you'd have to definitely filter for that, I assume. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm lost. Oh, I didn't see
No,
the.
so we were talking about the rogue, the stingrays, and how you could
Oh,
intercept them
yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah,
middle. But like you're getting
yeah.
more traffic than just your person. So,
Yeah,
um,
you would have to filter. Yeah, you would have to know the EIN of the device that it's going to, and all that good stuff.
yeah, it's interesting. People are
Or
not.
you or I mean,
I'm sorry
or
to be context shifting. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I think the context, though, the context might be different. Like, if you have all that traffic, you may not have to know your victim EIN or anything like that. You could just filter based on the type of traffic you're looking for. I mean, if you have a cell tower that has 5,000 users, how many of those users are at that time trying to get a multi-factor an MFA authentication? Probably not many. You could probably narrow it down.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So getting back to the story with the NFTs and stuff, I just want to show this because it is the blockchain, and you can see all these things if you want. This is literally the hacker's wallet. You can just see all of these apes coming in, mutant ape, and there was a Bored Ape Kennel Club also that the hacker got. So you could see just in a matter of minutes all these apes dropping into their account. Now, because it is blockchain, you can follow them and see where they go. So I don't know if these are going to become like blacklisted apes where like everyone agrees not to buy them. I don't know. But that is another interesting aspect of it, that you can track these assets and changes as they go around. The final thing I want to talk about, and then we can do a little bit of open forum, Clint, is the final piece. And if I can find it, I'll bring it up on stream. Was that the threat actor created a lookalike website for the victims to? So it was a phishing link in the Instagram account page. They click on the link or they follow the link, and they're presented with a lookalike website. What's the level of difficulty of duplicating a website like that?
It's easy. I mean, number one, you can
Clint, you with
register.
me? Okay, good.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. Number one, it's really easy to duplicate a website like that because you can literally web scrape an entire website and get most of it right there already built. I mean, if you know anything about web development, it's trivial to replicate the look and feel of a site. It's also pretty trivial to make that site basically an overlay on top of a site to where as you're putting in your information and clicking through, you're sending that information like OAuth um, onto the API or onto the login of the other site. And then as far as domain goes, it's trivial to go register a domain that looks close enough to the domain that you're trying to masquerade as, where people wouldn't even notice. So it's actually pretty easy. I mean, this is classic. This is stuff that we were pulling off and playing with in the 90s.
Yeah, I didn't even, I mean, I guess if I was doing the attack, I would have realized the URL, but I didn't even think about the fact that, yeah, you got to make that URL look somewhat legit as well.
Yep.
But so it's, does the social engineering toolkit do that for you? Is that one of the tool sets that can, I know it can scrape a site. I don't know if it can do the overlay with the pass through.
I don't know. So I know that last time I messed around with SET, the social engineering toolkit, and it doesn't replicate a website. I know that you can use it to build scripts for watering hole attacks and drive-by attacks for websites. I don't know if it actually. The last I messed with it, it doesn't build the website for you. You'd still have to build the website, and I think you would still have to build the scripts for the either OAuth or API to take the information, forward it onto the actual legitimate website.
Okay, so it's easy, but you got to know the right tools and probably
Yeah,
use a
yeah,
couple
yeah.
tools
It's.
in order.
I would say it's not exactly script kiddie level, right? You can't just open up Meterpreter or Metasploit or something like that and just do it, right? It takes some preparation, it takes some planning to pull off successfully.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good to know. We got a couple minutes before we're gonna end our maiden episode of Deep Dive. And it, by the way, in chat, if you guys have any thoughts, good or bad, for us, Clint and I are interested in receiving that feedback because we want this to be a value add to the entire community, not just a opportunity for Clint and I to talk to each other. We get to talk to each other quite a bit as it is.
And go easy on Jerry. He's sensitive. You don't want to hurt his feelings.
Oh my God, this guy right here. Yeah. So so I found this like a perfect, nice little deep dive because it touched on social engineering aspects, the new wave of NFT and crypto space, which a lot of people are really interested in right now, and multi-factor authentication, MFA bypass. Very complex. You know what it is? It's funny. Like the more things change, the more they stay the same. Like every aspect of
Yeah.
this attack is classic, except the asset that was stolen. That's the modern piece.
So we just had so it was confirmed, or at
Tobias,
least
yeah.
by Tobias there in our chat, that set SET, the social engineering toolkit, can clone the site. I was not aware of that. It's been a while since I've used SET. And by the way, I just have to mention this. We're backwards here. You're wearing red and I'm wearing blue. This we need to fix this for next time.
I got a little blue. Little blue. Little blue.
You're a red shirt, I'm blue shirt. This is not normal. This is not normal.
I know. I might switch it up for a shotgun mic so I can give the full display of whatever I'm wearing. I'm always repping something on my shirt here. So, but yeah, it's nice. We gotta mess back and forth. Maybe we'll play red versus blue, Clint, and I'll be red and you'll be blue, and we'll see how it goes.
You are the reigning champion, as much as I didn't like that. But that's right. I think Josh is going to challenge you on the 18th. So Josh Mason. So we'll see.
All right. Love it. This has been Deep Dive with myself, Gerald Auger, and Clint Bodungen. We hope you got value out of this. And if you did, hit like and subscribe to show your support. We really appreciate it. Join us next week at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the same ThreatGEN YouTube channel for the next episode of Deep Dive. If you'd like to keep the party going, right? It is Friday. Let's get this party rolling. I encourage you to jump over to the Simply Cyber channel on YouTube, where I'll be hosting What's on Your Radar in about 30 seconds. It's another cybersecurity themed live stream, senior professionals. It's going to be great. All right. All the best, folks. Thanks so much, Clint.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.